Good morning. You can find new episodes every Wednesday on Spotify or YouTube. Welcome back to another week of Scrambling Dads podcast. Last weekend was Labor Day, guys. How are we doing after a nice long weekend?
Refreshed.
Yeah, no, we didn't do anything. We're still unboxing stuff. So I hung 7 pictures, 4 curtain rods, a Nanit base, and cleaned out the garage. So super productive.
I was the opposite. I definitely was very lazy. Well, in-laws came into town. We had a little thing for Shelby's birthday, hung out, and I spent like 2 hours maybe getting a tattoo. So yeah, very low key for me.
How'd the tattoo go? What'd you get?
The camera's right there. So
there you go. Okay.
Got this quote. Oh, it's turning. Yeah, there you go. Oh. Reads this way.
A little opposite there. That's nice. So what does that mean for us illiterate people here?
Yeah, so this one I just got is half of a Greek quote that I shared with Peyton, and we kind of went into it because we both went to Greece three years ago, and just kind of looked at it and just said, hey, let's find something that's special to us and a quote that's meaningful for something that kind of what I've preached to her, because I feel like her generation, and obviously a lot of generations even coming, want this immediate gratification, this immediate sense of something. And this quote goes back to just pretty much the baseline is, you got to be patient. Patience will pay off, and the good things will come if you could just stick your ground and just go through the process.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Go ahead, Mike, because that ties into something I want to talk about, but go for it.
No, that's really cool to share something with, with one of the kids and be like, hey, this is cool. We have this thing that's just ours. And so it's just appreciation of that. Like by the time I get a matching tattoo with my daughter, I'll be, I don't know, 50, 55. It'll be all like wrinkly. Yeah. So.
Well, I got this one on this arm for the other daughter.
Yeah.
Now, did they get them in the same spot as you did, or they just have it somewhere else?
Maddie and I share the forearms, and again, like the quotes are split, so they've got half, and I got the other half. And Maddie's, we got he or she graduated high school, and first granddaughter, first child moving away, and this one talks about a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So it's very befitting for her moving out and making the big statement for pretty much, I think, even my brothers and all the other grandkids that followed. She kind of paved the way to like go a distance. But yeah, her and I share on the forearm. It looks so funny when we stack them. Her arm's like a toothpick. And then Peyton's actually got more artistic. She has hers kind of over the shoulder with some, I think they were supposed to be like bay leaves or some kind of olive leaf branch. And it kind of goes down her shoulder and upper arm.
That's pretty cool. My mom
could be a grape leaf if they're Greek.
Yeah, it could be a grape leaf. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, and I was late on getting it. She got hers 2 years ago when she graduated, and I just now got it.
That's awesome. My mom and I have been talking about getting a tattoo together. We just haven't gone. So that's it's always fun to get those ones together. We haven't done it. My boys are. You have one, is that what you said?
Just one tattoo?
My one tattoo is a matching tattoo with my wife.
No,
we have
that.
That's funny. We have coordinates of where we think we got engaged. Long story short, make this a long story short. We're on the coast of Costa Rica, and her family goes on this big trip every year between Christmas and New Year's, and this was in 2019. And so we go out to dinner, just the two of us, on like this nice beach restaurant, and we didn't make reservations. It was kind of a last minute thing, and there's like a wait, like a super long wait. So we get a bottle of wine while we wait. That bottle of wine turns into like 3-ish throughout the course of the night, and we go walk up the beach. Proposal happens, and then we're talking about where it was on the map, and we can't agree. I think it's one place, she thinks it's the other. They're like 100 yards apart, 200 yards apart, maybe. And so I I have the coordinates where she thinks I did it, and she has the coordinates where I think it happened.
That makes it better.
Yeah.
You got
So
some compromise there.
yeah, so I tell her hers she has the right tattoo, mine's wrong, but yeah, that was our compromise. Yep. So
It's compromise. That is funny and awesome.
I mean, you could get a little more technical. GPS Google Earth is a lot better.
no, we
Zoom
did.
in and
I have it to the minute on my arm. We zoomed in and I was like, no, it was here. And she's like, no, it was here. And so I have degree, longitude, latitude, like minute, and like decimal place. So very, very exact.
If that right there doesn't epitomize what marriage is, meaning instead of just being like, let's just compromise and go right in the middle of the two, it's like neither one of you is willing to disagree. So it's like, no, I know I'm right, so we're just gonna agree to disagree here and move on
And make it permanent.
and make it
there you
permanent.
go.
That's
Yeah. That's
that's freaking
that's always
awesome.
my reminder that
That
she's
you're always
probably right. Yeah, she's probably right, and I should just compromise.
yeah. Just say yes, honey. You're correct. Well, no, I'm gonna go back to Jason's. You said patience and working towards things, and I was we got some comment from one of my buddies who listens to the show about lessons, and I told him, Mike, I was going to ask you about this from a fitter perspective, but he's doing some lessons, and he was talking about getting fit, and apparently the guy's like, well, it doesn't make sense to get fit right now because we're going to change your swing and this and that. And I was like, I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, I think any good fitter will fit you into where you are right now, but he wants to go through a swing change because he's my age, or our age, Mike. He's 35, 36, and he hasn't given up on being able to hit the ball farther or better than he is now, because he's kind of a swipey little left to right player as it is. So he's definitely leaving some yardage out there. So, he was texting with me, going back and forth about, what does it make sense to get fit right now? I'm like, I mean, a good fitter should be able to fit you for what works now and what will work in the future. Unless you're talking a massive overhaul in swing speed, then I don't really know why they couldn't fit you now. But I want to get your opinion, Mike, because I told him I'd ask you since he listens to the show.
It really depends on what you're working on in your swing. Like if he's a sweepy, like hits a floaty cut kind of player, and now they're working on attack angle and or path, um, it'll change obviously ball position, like ball flight. Um, it depends on how extreme those changes are. Because like you said, you're right. Like unless there's a huge jump in speed, like shaft flex isn't going to change. You're not going to be more like the weight of the shaft, like the feel is going to still feel good, right? So you can get pretty close with flex weight. The biggest thing is, depending on what they're working on, is going to change some launch characteristics. So attack angle will change, path will change, which changes spin axis, which will change, launch and spin that way too. So like I said, it just depends on how drastic of a change that they're going to make, right? So if you're a couple degrees out to in and kind of shallow, and you're going a couple degrees into out and you get down a little bit, you should be okay. But in a case like that, you have a coach that you're working with, like loop the coach into the fitter, have them have that conversation. It's like, hey, this is what we're working on. This is what we're looking to achieve. That's always a great thing, especially if you have someone you can go to as a fitter. I did it with my game. So my coach that I had in DC, I saw him all of that year. I was in DC, so I saw him like once a month. So I saw him 9 times, 10 times, something like that. I went and got a like body movement analysis of kind of what I could do golf wise, like 3D motion capture, all this like super cool stuff. And I made sure my coach was looped into that process because it was like, hey, Mike can't externally rotate his left shoulder as much as his right shoulder, or his hip rotation isn't as much as his shoulder rotation. So now my coach has all this data. So he sees me hit it. He has all this extra information. So it's like, all right, cool. Now I know what you can and can't do physically. Let's work on this. And it's the same thing you can do with a fitter and a coach. Hey, this is what I'm working on. This is my fitter. This is my coach. Let's all have like a quick 10-minute call and let's figure out, what we're working with, what we're working to, and like what the end goal is.
So really, really long way of saying you don't know because you don't know what's being changed, which kind of makes perfect sense. I'm also going to plug again the coaches that I go see because they're all one and the same. They have a fitting shop. They have their lessons, and it's all your coach might be the one fitting you. Granted, my buddy has kind of moved into that fitting position now, so he does probably say 80-90% of the fittings, but all of the coaches talk, and we'll talk through some of that with my gapping session, just see how closely they all work together. But so I'll tell Marcus that it truly just comes down to what he's wanting to do. I do know he was working on swing path because he was starting to draw the ball, and he's, like I said, he's a left to right player right now. So I know a big thing he's working on is that swing path.
Yeah, and if sorry, Jason.
Oh, you go ahead.
If all he's changing is path and the ball flight's just sliding from left to right to left, he can go get fit, right? That's not a huge thing that's going to change like what shaft or head you're going to want. Like, he's not really going to lose a bunch of ball striking or gain a bunch of ball striking unless like in those lessons it kind of clicks, but he's going to be in a shaft flex and a weight and a head almost no matter what, lessons or no lessons.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, piggyback on that. I agree. Unless you're, even for me, it's like I go through different like modes of myself, and it's like unless you're doing something major, you could get fit. I mean, anybody can benefit from it. I tell my boys they're in that weird window because little freshmen, they're like 4 foot tall, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna get some new clubs. I'm like, well, for them, I would be more cautious because you guys like. I had one kid grow 5 inches over from last year to this year. And like, so you got to be careful like at your age, but yeah. And as far as changing swings, unless you're intentionally trying to change it, like I've got kids all over the spectrum. And the goal for me right now is just like, hey guys, we need to take what your skill level is, your body mechanics, your limitations. Like I got one kid who's got an Oberg body style all the way down to smaller than Nelly Corda. So I got to like look at all the different variables and just let's focus on fundamentals, shifting weight, staying connected. And then I don't care how your swing path is as long as we can get that consistency. And then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Kids, like teenage kids, are the most interesting things to fit because in most cases, you're right. There's like 14-year-olds that weigh 100 pounds. And it's just like, yeah, you have the speed to swing this stiff, but you physically can't swing 100-gram shaft. So I've got to fit you into like a regular that's a little heavier than even then. It's like I fit a kid who's probably 13 and I had to be like a single digit handicap, but he weighed probably 110 pounds, but he was swinging driver at like 90, 95. He's swinging his 7-iron at like 80, 85. It's like you should be in a regular, but you're just physically not strong enough. Like I can give you a regular flex shaft. Even graphite is like, I can't make this light enough for you to not lose like all fundamentals. And so those are always tough.
Yeah, it comes down to how are you going to future proof, but it goes back to the question of what do you want to work on? If you're planning on overhauling your swing, or for a kid's perspective, you're planning on growing like all kids are. Maybe you're not future proofing. Maybe you're finding the fix for the next 2 years or whatever until the next growth spurt or until you put on weight or whatever it is. And kind of the same for like my buddy. Like, what are you looking for? Do you want to buy a new set of clubs in 3 years? Then cool, find the set that works for you today.
I'll say as a fitter, I hate like future proofing. Like I don't like to do it. Like unless a parent is like really, really, really like, hey, we can't buy another set in the next 3 years. I have like 3 other kids and they all play golf and we can't do this. I'm like, all right, well then we can get it as close as we kind of need to project what he's gonna probably be. It's like you look at parents like, okay, cool, how tall are you guys? All right, he's probably gonna be your height. This length should be good if he grows. If he grows sooner, it's better than not. But if he grows later, then it's kind of where we are. So
Well, good. Now I at least have something to tell him. I'll tell him I was wrong because I was like, I'm sure a good fitter can figure it out. But I'll eat my crow there and move on.
a good fitter that talks to whoever is teaching him would be fine, but they need to have a conversation.
I love caveats. It means I'm not wrong. I get to caveat how I'm still right.
I mean, it could just be a difference of if he's changing his path, just changing the lie angle or something, you know, it could be simple just to get him started.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's 1,000 ways he can solve that one. Just thought it was interesting. It fits in the fitting conversations we've been having. But let's get back to the weekend because, guys, I have had a heck of a weekend at the house. A heck of a weekend.
From your messages, it doesn't sound like it's very good.
No.
Entertaining,
man.
I would say. It sounds entertaining.
Probably
Yeah,
smells worse than it sounds.
Yeah.
entertaining for y'all, man. Okay, so I can't even remember. This part of it was like last week. It was late last week. I can't remember if it was right after our podcast. Maybe I talked about it, but our water heater upstairs went out. We had a bunch of water in the yard, and I thought it was irrigation. It wasn't irrigation. Then I found out water heater's dripping, or if it was a drip line, go upstairs. Water heater has burst. And luckily it's a slow leak, so it was just coming out the drip pan. Anyways, they come out and they're like, yeah, we got to replace this. So we've been ex hot water for the, 5 days now?
Everywhere?
Yeah, we can, because it's the main tank. Like, it's not even the reserve tank because we have two. So the reserve tank's fine. The main tank is the one that burst. We can turn it on. He was like, look, if you want to turn it on for like 30 minutes, everyone take showers, do your thing, go for it. Like, just turn it back off. We turn the gas off to it. So, like, we have 50 gallons from the reserve tank, and that's all we have. Normally, we have 100 gallons. So, like, it's quick showers, move on. But we haven't been able to wash laundry because we don't have hot water. We haven't been able to run the dishwasher. So, that's fun. Yes, we can use cold water.
I know, I'm like,
Wait. No, hold on. Time out.
thank you.
I've been doing laundry for a very, very long time, and I use cold water to wash everything.
Yes,
Everything.
cold water.
Okay. We have 3
Everything.
kids, one that plays baseball. You think cold water is getting those stains out? No, you are correct. We could run cold water, but the problem is the fact that the water's still flushing through the water heater valves, the one that's burst. I have been very cautious on heavy pulls of water through. So I'm like, let's do the bare minimum. Showers, brush our teeth, go to the bathroom style. Like, that's fine. We can go up to my mom's and do laundry. Like, that part of it, we'll figure out. I don't want to cause a burst or a leak somewhere else because that's more costly. And I know being in construction, it's like, it takes one little thing to go wrong. And I have 50 gallons of water flooding into my kitchen from the attic. If this was in the garage, I'd have a whole different perspective because it just floods my garage. But ours are upstairs in the attic. Not going to mess with it. So we've been out of hot water for however many days now. And then Sunday, since I don't want to turn on the hot water, I can't get in the shower. I'm bald. I usually just shave in the shower. I'm like, okay, I'll just shave at the sink. It's been 3 days since I've shaved my head or beard. Like, I need to. We're going to go up to my mom's because my cousin's in town. And probably, I'm getting done. I start smelling the sewer smell. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Like, what is this? I don't see anything. I'm like, okay, whatever. I went to go do something else, and then I went into our toilet, little water closet, to throw something away, and there's water all inside that room. And I was like, what is going on? I rush, I get towels, all the fun stuff, throw towels down. And every time I walk past the shower, I could smell the sewer smell. And it's glass, but I wasn't really looking. I opened the door, and there's just like yellow, gross water in our shower and all this black stuff. Come to find out, it's from the front yard, but I was tracking water. So now we have a hole in our water closet room because I punched a hole, not punched physically. I cut a hole in the wall to track the water to make sure there wasn't a leak in the wall, because it got in our closet that shared the wall. Like, our carpet was soaked. So we've been dealing with that. So we finally had a plumber out, and come to find out, the tree in the front yard had punctured the sewage line and blocked the roots. So they're like, well, you need to call the city sewage and have them come out. If it's on the city side, they'll pay to fix it. If it's on your side, unfortunately, that's your cost.
It's never on the city side.
Of course.
Yeah, right. See this property line? That's yours.
It is on the city side, and they said it. Casey called me today because they're out today, this afternoon, and our guy, the plumber, cleaned everything he needed to make us functional. He was like, look, like, if you go pee or you wash dishes, like, if it's just water going down the line, you're fine. But the minute you put toilet paper down or anything solid, you're going to get blocked up again. He's like, don't do that. City bees come out. They come out. They apparently cleared a bunch more from that line. They're like, look, we got you up and running, but we're going to have to do a more permanent fix. It'll probably come in like 2 to 4 weeks, meaning they're going to have to tear up the concrete, the grass, get down to the pipe, replace the pipe, all that fun stuff. Luckily, it's on the city side, but we have been without permanent hot water for 5 days, and we have been without a sewage for 2 days until today. Oh, that has been what we're dealing with. So what got us up and running for the sewage was, the clean outs in the front of your yard. I just pop those caps off so the water can overflow. So anytime we flushed the toilet, water just overflowed into our flower bed, just so that it wouldn't back up into our house. So this is what I had to deal with all weekend. I did not go on my dove hunt because I was dealing with this on Monday. So
No.
I'm very, very upset about that. And to make things better, I threw out my back yesterday. My range of motion looking left is 0. As I'm like driving my truck to work this morning, and like, if I want to look at my blind spot, my whole body is turning just so I can see. It has
What were you doing?
Living. I got old. No joke. I woke up Monday morning feeling perfectly fine.
Wait a minute.
I wake up Monday perfectly fine. I go sit on the couch. I eat breakfast. I'm holding Isabella. Casey's there. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sneak off to the range. Okay, cool. I get up, go get dressed, and I come back, and I was like, I did something to my back. Like, my back hurts. So between me standing up from the couch and getting dressed in a 5-minute window, something spasmed in my back, and couldn't, like, it was hurting. I was like, no, okay, it's fine. I can swing. It's just a little tight, whatever. And it just progressively got worse throughout the day. Like, it got worse and worse and worse to the point that today, like, I could barely move. The entire evening, I've had a roller ball on it, or my wife was cupping my back for me as I'm laying on the floor. It is upper thoracic. I'm gonna say T1, T2 area, because it's right at my left shoulder blade. I know exactly where the knot is. I can feel it when I move my shoulder, and I could feel it with the ball when I was rolling. I know where it is, and I know why it's spasming, but it doesn't change the fact that it hurts like hell. And I'm probably going to have to go to a chiropractor tomorrow. So that has been the past 5 days for me. It's been almost a week from hell, and our water heater gets fixed tomorrow. I'm working from home, so we should have hot water running at least tomorrow. Our sewage is working. So if I can figure out my back, we're back to being golden.
Throwing out your back while putting pants on is elite athleticism.
Okay, this is perfect right there.
What I was questioning on if I wanted to admit on here or not, because I don't know if this played a role into it, but we've talked about how Tripp is getting into lacrosse, and we got him a net in the backyard. One of those rebound nets that you can throw the ball at and it comes back at you. So me being me, I'm like, hey, let's play a little one-on-one. We got 2 sticks. We have a net. Like, so we played for probably 30 minutes in the backyard, to which he beat me because I am out of shape and was like huffing and puffing after the 3rd goal. I went up fast on him, 2-0, and then he just came back and whooped my butt. I'm wondering if that has something to do with the back, but that was Saturday. And I threw it out on Sunday. No, that was Sunday. I threw it out on Monday. So, don't know.
So what's the better story? You were playing lacrosse with your son or putting on pants?
I like putting on pants.
I feel like putting on pants. I mean, it tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's actually probably what happened.
Well, with all
His
of
leg got
that,
stuck and he was trying to hoof it up and then it just locked up.
I was trying to put some socks on and back just locked up, man. You know, it's funny. Like, this all just proves I'm getting older. And as of Friday, this is a PSA to everyone that has health insurance. Read your health insurance and see what all they offer, because there's a lot of stuff they do offer. They might cover mental health, they might cover every little thing. Some even have gym reimbursements. Mine covers a nutritionist. So as of Friday, I am working with a nutritionist to get my diet back in check, because I did blood work and cholesterol and triglycerides were high. That's it. Everything else was good, but I want to get in better health. Like, I'm not overly happy with where I'm at. I have played sports all growing up, so I'm starting to see one, and now I do weekly check-ins with her, and I log all of my food. It's like a picture you take, and AI does its thing and tells you calories. I mean, it's obviously not perfect, but it's good enough for her to start tracking and helping me. So me throwing out my back is just a big gateway into Alex is going to get in better shape here.
So what's your normal diet that your cholesterol is high? Do you eat a lot of fast food, red meat, like lots of butter?
I think he's just old.
Not as old. Some of it's family.
Okay.
It's just a family history of high cholesterol and triglycerides. Like, my dad had a fatty liver too. It's just part of it sometimes. Hispanics generally do have a higher risk of those two items. I don't know why, honestly, but they do. But no, we don't need a lot of fast food because we're gluten free. It's not. I will say, like, I do cook with a lot of butter. I mean, I like to cook. Like, when I do steak, I do it in a butter bath. What did we do? We did lobster the other night. Obviously had butter with that. So, like, we do. So I would say it's probably butter, and then some of it I'd say is uh, like, just carbs in general. Because, like, we'll do gluten free pasta, still is carbs, or gluten free bread. Like, we generally always have a type of bread with our meals. Even, like, they make gluten free garlic bread that will have a pasta, stuff like that. So a lot of it's just they tell you to go to a Mediterranean diet.
Are you
That's a
gluten
good
free?
one.
Yeah, you were. I guess you started doing these shows after we talked about that. But my daughter, all growing up, like, first 2 years, was cycling through a bunch of health issues, and she wasn't really putting on weight.
Oh,
And
no, I remember that.
yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly. So we found that out, and so I'm going to say 90% gluten free since it's been 18 months now. And when I say 90%, like, I'll still drink a Coors Light if there's nothing else to drink, because that's really low on the parts per million scale. It's like 5. And if you're under 20, you're technically, like, kind of gluten safe. Um, or, like, every now and then, like, if I have no option, I'll eat a pizza if I just have to, or if I'm at work and someone brings lunch to a work meeting, like, I'll make it work. So I might have a little bit, but um, so my diet really isn't that bad. I think I do have a sweet tooth. So when it comes, like, ice cream and stuff like that, I'm pretty bad. Or even, like, like those little gummies in the house for the kids, like, I'm bad about eating those. So I think between the sugar and the carbs that we do eat, that's what's driving up those two numbers. So seeing a nutritionist now, and it has an immediate effect, because I don't like being judged. So I have not had, like, any sugar in the past 3 days since I've been working with her, because I don't want to, like, or let me rephrase that: sugar, like bad sugar. Like, I've had, like, yogurt with honey on it, right? But, like, I'm not going to put that I had a freaking candy bar on there. Like, that's just not going to happen. So I haven't, like, had any sugars outside of that.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So read your health insurance if you have it, guys, because it'll there's a lot there. I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's get into some golf here. We're going to leave the family talk away this week for the most part. Jason and I are going to talk some single dad life next week, because Mike is abandoning us to go on a golf trip. So we're
Yes.
gonna.
I'm also single dadding next week because my wife is going on a business trip starting on Sunday. So she's leaving
That's funny.
before me. So I'm solo dadding
You get back from
Monday,
golf
Tuesday,
trip.
Wednesday.
No, other way around. Oh, so
No,
she
yeah,
leaves
other way
you,
around.
or yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
I
well,
was
there you
like,
go.
listen, I need you to know what it's like when I'm gone for a couple days, and you keep leaving when I'm gone. So I need to go somewhere else again.
Make sure you get
Well,
the coordinates right.
Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna leave the family talk off for this week. We'll have enough to talk about next week. So let's talk some golf here, Mike. You last week you talked about cutting down driver, and you talked about getting on
Mm-hmm.
some range. You talked about getting some practice in because you got this golf trip going on. So give us some updates. You're 8 days away. How are you feeling?
Whew, yeah. Yeah. I feel better now than I did 24 hours ago.
Does that
Okay.
include the
Friday.
nap?
No, that hasn't. That's the later part of the story.
Okay.
So so we had the pod last week, and I went on Friday morning. I was off work, dropped the kiddo off at daycare, had to go get the car service, and I was gonna go hit balls after that, run some errands. Fine. Sat at the dealership for 4 hours, just waiting on like a service. So I was like, sat there, did a bunch of stuff on my laptop. So I'm sitting in a chair for 4 hours. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm still gonna go to the range. Still need to hit balls, and then we'll just kind of figure out the rest of the day. So I go to the range. I think I got a medium sized bucket. So nothing crazy. Their big buckets there are like huge. Like I went like a couple weeks ago, got a big bucket. It's like 2.5 hours worth of hitting balls. So we're not doing that. Got a medium bucket, go out there, throw my alignment sticks down, get loose, and then I can't find the face on anything. Anything. Hit irons, long irons, 7-wood, driver, nothing. And so this is after I cut the driver down. So I cut a little less than a half an inch off. So my driver now plays at 45 1/4 ish.
Is that what you said you were going to cut it down to? Or do you say you were going to cut
Yeah,
it down to 45?
probably said 45, but I decided to go like it's like 45 and an eighth, 45 1/4.
Okay.
I took I took at least a half inch off. It was at 45 3/4, so I took a half inch off. But I checked the swing weight before and checked the swing weight after. So half inch of shaft is roughly 3 swing weight points. So it was at like D4.5. Now it's at D1.5. And so I go out to the range, and like as I'm hitting driver, I'm like, this feels funny. And then it didn't hit me until the next day that I didn't add any weight back into the head to get the swing weight back up to where I liked it. And so that's a PSA for anybody who's cutting a driver shaft down, is you have to add weight to the head or it's going to get super light and feel super weird. And so I'm at the range Friday and nothing. Driver, nothing works. And I'm like, I usually go to the range to like relieve some stress and like work on some stuff, break a sweat. Like Friday was the absolute worst range session I've had in a while. Like in a while. Like I had like 10 balls left and I was like, you know what? This is totally useless. Like I was gonna go putt. I'm like, you know what? I'm packing up. I'm leaving. This was the worst decision ever. It's also
Been there.
it's also 1 o'clock in South Texas, so it's 95 degrees and 80% humidity. So it's just like this was such a silly decision. I just wasted 2 hours of my time. This is silly. And so I get home and I think I texted you guys or I texted the group and I'm just looking at shafts. I'm just like, I want to try something different. There's nothing wrong with my driver shaft. It works fine. But what was I doing? I was
You texted me on that one saying, talk me out of this. And I can't remember what your response was. I responded and it was something along the lines of, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. Yes. So it's actually really cool. And this is a good experiment to see if it actually works. So GolfWorks makes this like big catalog and you can buy like anything golf related from them. Grips, shafts, like anything. And they have this like, I think they call it like a playability guide. And it's basically like a 4-digit code that you can like search all their shafts to see what you want to do. So I was messing around with it. I found my digit code and I was like, let's just see what shafts would work. And the shafts that I play popped up in my irons, like that, those were there. So it's like, pretty like, this could work. And so I went and bought one of the driver shafts that were in that category. It's like, all right, well, let's see if this works. So that's on the way. That hasn't gotten here yet.
Is that
So,
the is that the Acura that you sent me?
huh, huh.
Yeah, so sends me the Acura, says, talk me out of this. I respond with a handful of things, to which he responds and says, you know nothing.
Sounds right.
All I'm doing is trying to help. That's funny. Well, so that's fun. So obviously, I guess it will get here and cut down and installed before your trip, I assume.
Yes, I should get it here by the end of the week. And so I should be able to install it, and then I'll go hit balls on Tuesday. So
Do you have
I'll go to the
Sorry. Do you have all the stuff at your house? Like epoxy and everything? Like, do you have the tools to do this at your house, or do you have to take it somewhere?
I have access to the tools.
Okay.
I don't
You just
have
have
them in
to
my
go
house
somewhere.
because I can't keep like I would love to have like a grip station and a loft fly machine like in the garage, but we move too much. And so I'm not gonna drill into count how many garage floors to mount that stuff. So I don't have that stuff. But when we stop moving, I will have all that stuff in my garage. So
A full curing cell and everything.
I will not have a curing cell. I can wait the 24 hours. Um, so I'll get it. I should be able to get it tipped and gripped and go hit it on Tuesday. So in all likelihood, I'm bringing 2 driver shafts with me on my trip, just for fun. It's a little last minute tinker time. I had to do something, so that's what I did.
I had to do something. Well, you played too, didn't you?
I played today.
Oh, you played
I played,
today.
yeah, I played today. So I got home from that awful rain session, and then after I bought that shaft, I was like, I just need to go do this. So I went and I played this morning again on the range, like ready to warm up, hit balls like 50% good, maybe. Like hit a couple good ones, but we had a couple right misses, a couple left misses, some thin ones, some fat ones. I was like, this is terrible. Like, what am I gonna do? So then, yeah, I get to the first tee and playing with like 3 other guys. 2 of them know each other, so it's their buddies, and then so it's just me and some one other dude. And we get to the first tee, and one of the guys like, hey, what tee box are you guys playing? And there's like a weird silence, like nobody says anything right away.
Everybody's like,
That awkward. No one wants to commit to which one.
Yeah, no one wants to say too far back or too far forward. And so the guy asked me, I was like, hey, I'll play whatever tees anybody wants. Like I can hit it long enough to go play the backs. If everybody's playing back there, I'll go play up. It's fine with me. And then he asked the 2 friends, like, we're gonna play whites. So we played 2 up today, which was great for me because I hit I don't know 6 different clubs off of par 4 and par 5 tees. I hit driver on all 4 of the par 5s and a drivable 4. And then I hit some combination of 7 wood, 4 iron, 6 iron off of all the other par 4s, which was
There you
fine
go.
with me. Kind of helped me get in the groove to be able to, when I got to a par 5, I was like 5 holes in. I was like, all right, cool. Let's hit driver and just see what happens. And so I hit 5 drivers. 2 of them were great. 2 of them were okay. One was terrible, but I got super lucky. So I walked off. I'm like, maybe I didn't need to buy that, but it's already on the way. So here we are.
Committed now. Well, what did you end up shooting then?
What'd you say?
What did you end up shooting?
Oh, so I shot in 83. I
Okay.
was 4 over through 10. Yeah, I was 4 over through 10. So through 10, I had 4 of 8 fairways and 6 of 10 greens. And then on 11, I went double, double, bogey, 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 birdie par. So a valuable lesson for me is that I need to eat some more. Like I didn't eat anything today. I rode the breakfast train all the way through 10, and then I probably just crashed because I hadn't eaten anything. Again, it's South Texas, so it's 85 degrees and 80% humidity. So we were hydrating, but not eating. Check that one for golf trip prep. Eat food, snacks.
Yeah, toss some bars in your bag or something. I have like a Ziploc of bars in my bag for that exact reason.
Yeah. So the handicap technically fell down two tenths. I went from a 10.4 to a 10.2.
Hey,
So
that's progress right there.
we are scaring single digits.
We are trending. Pretty soon we're gonna have to do a
Yeah.
race between you and Jason on single digit handicap. That's gonna be our next one.
To be fair, I'm very close.
I'm closer to the 11, 12 side than the 10 to 9 side.
Yeah. I'm a
That just means you
legitimate
have more room.
10.2.
That's just quick improvement.
So I gotta play tougher courses, tougher score ratings, slope ratings, and all that stuff.
That's funny. Well, good. So you're ready for the trip or no?
Yeah, we are ready for the trip. So I'm pumped. I'll go hit balls again one more time and then pack it up. So I think the expectations are much lower after I played in that tournament a couple weeks ago. So it's not like a do or die. I have to go play my best golf in this weekend. It's going to be like we're going to go see what happens and have some fun.
That'll be fun. That's good. Well, Jason, what about you? You talked to your team. We had a long conversation about balls last week, right? That sounded really bad. Golf balls. We had a long conversation about golf balls last week, and you took that information and talked to your team. How was that received?
It was actually received really, really, really well. I took the information, and obviously, I shared with you guys. I bought the Max Fly Tour X to give it a try, and one of the things I was like, this is really intriguing. So yeah, I took the website, put it up, showed them the scatter plot because that's the easiest way to kind of read it. Just kind of first set the foundation, like, guys, hey, you got to be truthful with your swing speed, because a lot of them are like, oh, I swing this. It's like, no, I mean, we need to get some data, or you need to go get data, figure out where you really are, because some of you think you swing fast because it sounds fast, but reality, you may not be swinging where you're at. And then based on that, it's like kind of like start narrowing down, here's your range. Then from there, I put the question in their head. It's, you often like make comments, or you're talking to us and saying, hey, why didn't that check up? Oh my God, that released, why didn't that ball spin as much as it's supposed to? And again, another deep dive conversation of, guys, there's a couple of different factors there. Like, one, your technique is not in this position to generate spin. So you might need a spin your golf ball so you don't have to change your swing. So that is something to consider. And then it's like, hey, you got to understand the greens too. But showing them the chart and then showing them just like the spread of like, hey, what are some brands that you guys use? Plug them up there. Okay, so you see where they fall. All right. And some of them are more knowledgeable with their stats. And they were just like, oh, whoa, okay, maybe I should try another brand, or same brand and just a different line of that brand. So it was very cool to kind of see them kind of take that knowledge and just kind of process it and see, maybe it'll lead to something better for them over the season. And then, after that conversation, then we started talking to them about just, you know, personal one-on-one statistical goals. And they're like, oh, I always want to shoot 70s. I want to shoot 80s. And we're like, no, no, no. What's a statistical goal that we can help you with? And we started diving into greens and regulation, right? Or fairways regulation, and then or reducing number of putts. That way they have now a better mindset going into the season, going to tournaments, and then helping that, like, maybe we might need to consider a different golf ball based on those goals. So yeah, it was really good.
That's really cool, and that's cool that you took that conversation and had it with the team. I'd be really interested. Like, and I get most of your team probably isn't just play one ball. Like, their kids and their parents are buying their gear and stuff like that, right? But if they did, I'd be really interested to see how many different balls you have on that team out of 12 kids. Like, how many are playing same ball, different ball? Like, if they actually stuck to one ball.
Let's see. I've obviously got the Titleist Pro Vs. I think there's one player that uses a TaylorMade. A couple bounce between Strixon. A handful of them use Kirkland, and then there's only one that uses Bridgestone, as far as I know. And then the rest, like you said, they just like, oh, I just got his random bag of golf balls, or raided the pickup bin in the pro shop and just grab. And of course, a lot of the ones they grab are name brand. But again, the compression rating, spin rating, all the stuff we've talked about, that ball probably may not fit you properly. Hopefully, having that knowledge with them that they can, and we posted it to our little message board that if they forget, they can always go back and look at it. And if they go through even a ball fitting or just go to a simulator and just actually just start getting a better idea of where their average numbers are, spin, carry, all that stuff.
Mike, this should make you happy. I mean, it's the butterfly effect. You educated Jason, he educated 12 kids. You know, we're slowly
It's all about the
youths.
youths. Yeah.
The youths.
I think it's the youths. It's like I said, I think the biggest, I don't want to say problem, but I think the biggest hurdle there is, like, you're right. You got 12 guys on your team, probably 10 of them are parents who are just like, oh, I saw golf balls. You need golf balls. Here are your golf balls. And I think it's kind of on the kids to be like, no, like, Coach Jason, we sat down, we went through this, like, this is the golf ball that's going to help me play better golf, right? And in most cases, they're probably staying generally in the same price point, which is like, parents are like, yeah, of course, it's not going to cost me anything. Sure, I'll just tell me which one, or I'll go with you. You can pick it out, and that's fine, right? I doubt you'll have a case where a kid's playing something random and he's like, actually, a Pro V1X is perfect for me.
I
So
mean, that's the problem with golf. It's the cost of entry into the sport. I mean, I was thinking about that just as I was driving today, and I think about like my bag and just all the things going around after that gapping session. Like, if you add up the cost of the bag, like I have two drivers that are both $800 a piece, a mini driver and my regular driver, right? My iron set, that's what, 1700. But the thing is, I had some connections. Like, none of those I paid full price for. That's three, well, irons, obviously not three clubs, but that's a component of your bag. And my driver, the top two parts of my bag, I paid half price or less. So it's like that's expensive and it's hard. The cost of entry is hard. So when you talk about kids that aren't paying for their own balls, like, yeah, they're gonna go find whatever they can, or they're gonna go buy a $20 dozen because it's a lot cheaper. Like, let's go grab the Nike Mojos and let's go play those because we can't afford anything other than $1 a ball. And I get that. I was there when I was in high school. The cost of entry into golf is hard, even with direct to consumer products like Kirkland.
Yeah, no, I steer them all to Second Swing or eBay if they're going through it. Or, hey, Gus, I'm just want you to go to Second Swing and do a fitting, not to buy new clubs. I want you to go to get a better feel of your your shaft weight, because some of them are swinging some really heavy shafts and they're small, so they need something lighter. One of my newbies, we found an old set of Ping cavity backs. I think I2s or something, or Ping Eyes. I think manufactured in the 70s. And we don't even know what shaft they are. Probably a shoe temper of some kind. So much lighter than what he previous hit. And I'm just like, they're just been sitting in our storeroom. Take them. And he loves them. Like, they might need to be cleaned up a little bit, but he's not at that level. But again, it saved his parents and him even $400, and he just needs to get them regripped for sure. And then we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I'm like, figure out where you're supposed to be weight wise. Like, the club head's one thing, but that shaft weight, if you can't swing it, it's not going to do you any good.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's tough. These kids figure it out. I grew up playing a secondhand set of Mizuno blades that I'm sure was not that expensive. And a lot of hand-me-downs from my dad, so it's just part of it. But Mike, you need to figure out how to create a golf brand that is a lot cheaper. You're in the gear world.
No, I always steer people to USA Kids or US Kids. Like, it's not super expensive, and so you're not gonna spend $400 to waste it and be like, oh, they can't use this next year. I think that's the most, like, economical, and of course, like, they're the correct length, they're the correct weight. It's like, do that until you're you're either become like a really elite junior or you're like 5'6". It's like, really.
That's a really good perspective to have, though, because you and I had the conversation when Trip was getting clubs, because we were texting a lot about that, and he has stayed in the U.S. kids clubs, but like a lot of the kids at the PJ Junior League, because we're not members at the country club, but we go through the country club, so a lot of the kids are members there, and some of those kids have full sets of bags. I say full, probably I'm gonna say 8 clubs, which I mean a 10-year-old probably doesn't need 8 clubs right now, but they have full sets and they have the TaylorMade or the pings, and I just like, dude, you spent $600 on that set, and I spent like 250. Like, I just don't get it, and I say that to say, like, if anyone takes anything from my comments of like, you look at my bag, don't try to like keep up with the Joneses, because you don't know how I got my bag. Like I said, a lot of connections, a lot of ways to get clubs at a discounted price. Um, but I find so many people fall into that rat race of they want the newest, nicest thing, and they spend so much more money than they need to spend, because like, even we're going to talk a little bit about 7 wood, and I'm not going to bury the lead on Jason. I do not have a new 7 wood. Um, we
Yeah.
but even in my conversations, like, I don't want to, like, I told the guys at the facility, like, I don't want to spend $100 on the newest head plus the shaft that I need. Like, what are my options to get even last year's head at half the price? So now I'm still saving maybe $200 at least on the head, $200 over the overall club versus paying $700 for 7 wood. Like, there's other things you need to do. You don't have to have the biggest and brightest new thing, and so many people need to learn that.
Yeah, and then one other thing for like in that case where like juniors have these expensive clubs, if you have an adjustable driver, like you can make an adjustable driver last as long as you need it to, and you just buy new shafts, right? A shaft that costs you like from a raw shaft to gripped adapted like $120,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
probably at the most, right? So like if for example like you could go buy Trip a new driver or give him one of your old ones, right?
Give
We
him
get a
mine,
shaft that
reshaft it.
yeah, just reshaft it, right? It's going to cost you $100, $120 every other year until he's an adult, right? So it's
So
like
I was walking around the PGA show here in town 7-8 months ago now, and there's a brand, and I had to go look it up, but that's what they do. Like, they sell a set of clubs for the first stage, and then all you do is reshaft them. And how they solve, I guess, for swing weight, and I haven't dug into this, so don't quote me, Mike. I mean, I can send you the brand, but
let's
I
talk about it.
I want to say, like, when you go by the next step, say they grow, like, it might come with one more club, but then they send you all new shafts. And I think they solve for the swing weight within the shaft. So as they get older and bigger and can swing, the head's obviously not changing because it's the same club that they've already had. So they solve for that in the shaft, kind of. But like, they have, call it 4 steps essentially of, ages X, then the next, where you might get one more club than the next. And it ultimately evolves into like a 13 club set, but all you're doing is buying the shafts each time. So like, it was relatively expensive. I want to say it was like $600 up front, but like each set after that was only like $200, because all you're doing is shafts and maybe one club. And I thought that was a cool concept. It's still kind of expensive, but it's exactly what you're saying, but for the entire set. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I'll have to look up the brand, because I did actually like it, but you're not wrong. People just need to, just, one, go get fit. We're going to preach that all the time. 2, do your research. There's so many places to get clubs, and I feel bad. And we'll talk about that a little bit here in the gapping session. But like, it goes back to the fitting. Like, we did this whole fitting, and like, I have an avenue to get a 7-wood at half the cost, and I feel bad because I spent so much time with them and they put in the effort with me. And Mike, we can talk about that a little bit, because we have already talked about that some. But just do your research. Like, you don't have to spend the money if you don't want to. Find a way to spend the money cheaply.
And one of the things is like you shouldn't have to feel bad, right? You're paying for that gapping session, and so you're paying the fitter for his time, right? So it's like you shouldn't feel bad because you are paying to get the data. Like that's what you paid for, is to get the data, right? To get the other stuff is just something extra. But like in that transaction, you paid for the gapping session, you received the information from the gapping session. Like that transaction is now over. If you want to go do whatever they suggest, you can do that. But I don't want, like, not just saying you, but like I don't want people to feel bad that they're not buying something when if you go pay for a fitting or pay for a gapping session or whatever, you paying that is for the information that you then take. So like that is your transaction. I'm giving you the money for this information that you're giving. And then if I want to buy something, that's a different step.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. I think part of it's just because we've become friends up there, and again, we'll talk about some of this. But just because we're an hour in, let's talk Ryder Cup first, because I can cover gapping pretty quick, and I'd rather not rush. I'd rather rush the gapping side of it than the Ryder Cup captain's picks, because we got those in for the European side, and I want to get some reactions here on how we feel. How do we think we're going to match up? So I don't even know. Like I'm sitting here clicking around, like I even need to look at the website. Mike was 100% correct last week. It's the only time he's going to hear me say that. Europeans are running it back as far as last names go. So we have the twins switching out. Nikolai was in last year. Rasmus Højgaard is in this year, or 2 years ago. So how do we feel about the fact that they're running it back after just stomping us in Rome?
Can't feel great about it, right? Like we
it
talked about the American side. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pulling it up because I should have done this earlier, and I apologize. Like I said, I had some back issues. I'm pulling up last year's.
They were up 4-0 after Friday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they ran back their team, right? United States team, Wyndham, Harmon, Homa, Kapka, Spieth, Fowler. Half our team is new this year. Not necessarily new to never playing in a Ryder Cup. Granted, I think most of them are new to that because this is Spawn's first, obviously like Ben Griffin. So they have one new guy on their team, and it's honestly an even trade. The Højgaard brothers.
He was also there in Rome the entire time.
Yeah, he was an alternate. Yeah, he was on the cut. So you're trading the Højgaard brothers, which is a 1-for-1 trade, and we're trading 6 of our players. Kapka, Spieth, Fowler all have major pedigree. Fowler, I know, hasn't won one, but he's been right there on so many over the years. I mean, and then you had Wyndham and Brian, which were major winners. So I don't know how I feel. Like I think this is going to be ugly.
I mean, I don't think we're going to win, but I think it'll be closer than Rome, but I don't think we're going to win.
Not that we are a betting podcast, but I'm pretty positive Americans are the favorites right now too. It's a small margin. It's like -150 or something like that. But
I don't even think it's 150. I think the last time I looked, it was like 110.
Oh,
like 120.
Oh, okay. I heard. I didn't look. I heard through another podcast yesterday or day before when I was listening. So I'm not a bettor. I don't gamble unless it's on myself on a golf course. So I'm not the expert there, but it was a small margin. It was like -1, call it 110, 120 to like +130.
No, they just brought back their team that just stomped us. So they got a chemistry, they got a formula, they got the guys, they know each other, they have relationship outside of golf. There's something within the European team which we've talked about. But I did see a funny meme about one matchup. I think it was like Bryson and Scheffler versus Rahm and Rory.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It's the two guys from PGA, 2 guys from Live,
and like the 2 biggest bombers from respective circuits.
Yeah,
so that'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
I just looked. The U.S. is -145.
Okay, yeah, it's a small margin. Like it is a small margin favorite, which is scary. Like we should be a big favorite, but having half our team being newbies is frightening, to say the least.
How much of that margin is just based because it's in the U.S. and at Bethpage?
The entire margin.
Probably a lot because it's been home teams since Medina. That was 2014, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw that. So what do we got? 2 weeks to the cup? 3 weeks.
It's
2 weeks, 2.5. Because next week is when they're doing the Pro Core, and then the week after that is the Ryder Cup, if I'm correct.
So
it's the weekend of the 25th. 20th.
Oh, okay. So we still got 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
3 weeks from when we record. 2 weeks from when people hear this.
Yeah, 2 weeks from when people are actually going to hear this, because we're lazy and takes me a week to edit things. Yeah, I'm scared. I am scared. I might have to go dust off my FC Barca and Spanish gear and just claim being a Spaniard for a week.
I will be allocating some capital in Michigan on that plus 150 for Europe.
Bad move there.
Man,
Just hedge your bets.
European gear here soon.
Hey, I'm pretty positive Mike was wearing a International President's Cup hat like 3 weeks ago on the podcast, and I was going to say something and decided not to.
Yeah, it's just an elite logo.
It is
It's a way better logo. It's a way better logo.
I can't get on board with the Ryder Cup European colors. Like that royal blue and yellow just like doesn't look good to me.
You know what's even worse is our polo line or our US Ryder Cup.
Okay, someone
is horrible.
I don't think any of us three can answer this question, but why do we go to Ralph Lauren for our team uniforms? Like, you have so many other brands that could produce better uniforms. So why is it Ralph Lauren?
Do they have like some kind of sub agreement or contract with
it's probably a contract, yeah.
Well, I think Ralph Lauren is who provides the PGA of America their apparel, and this is a PGA of America thing, but like, why is their contract with, like, you have so many other brands that are better?
Well, it's not the brand, it's just what they designed it. Like, why have the American flag on one chest part and then the USA on the other? Like, can you not understand what country you are? Like, USA and American flag. Like, it's not even subtle. And then the colors, the stripe, they're horrible. They're ugly. They're just straight up ugly.
Yeah, they're not great. I'm looking at them right now. I don't love our hats. I don't love any.
Hey, we might not wear hats. We might not wear hats because we're not getting paid. So I don't know. No, see some hatless dudes out there.
And that right there is why we cannot win a Ryder Cup, is these guys are worried about money and not just playing for pride.
They're all in their heads. They're too big, literally.
No hat, Pat, man. I can't stand him. Most of these guys, I just don't care. Like, I don't put much weight into it, man. He is one guy that I cannot stand to watch play.
No. I love that he has like a DeWalt sponsorship. Like, that dude's never picked up a power tool in his life.
Not that this pod is ever going to get to him, but if it did, I would love for him to call and just be like, I'm actually a big carpenter and I build a lot of stuff, and
he also has like a private equity firm on the other side.
Well, maybe the private equity firm he has a lot of money with. I don't know.
You never know. I just feel like he's becoming the Patrick Reed, the new Patrick Reed.
Okay, no one will become Patrick Reed.
Cheats, yeah.
Patrick Reed allegedly cheats.
Allegedly.
Let's make sure we put our words around that. All right, before
you're gonna get served next Thursday.
Get myself in trouble legally. Let's move on to gapping.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, so I had full intentions of getting content and posting this, but this is a statement of how good these guys are, and a lot of it's my relationship with them, and I get that. So I want to be clear, like, not everyone's going to get treated this way, but like, I'm friends with a lot of them outside of the golf setting, and I go to a lot of their league nights and stuff like that. So I show up and I meet my new coach, awesome guy. His name's Nick. He's already got the bay set up, so their gapping session they actually do in their fitting bay, which is why it led into more than just a gapping session. But one of their other coaches, Eric, he stepped in. So these two are firing off my current specs of like my set, loft, lie. So they check everything. They pull everything out of your bag. They check loft lie, length, swing weight, frequency of the shaft, all the above. So they got two guys kind of doing this. Eric gets pulled away for another lesson. The owner of the place, Ben, steps in and starts helping. So I had two coaches, if not three, there the entire time, which was awesome. So some quick notes. Mike, we were 100% correct. Most of the clubs were 1 to 2 degrees upright. One of them was 2.5 degrees upright. So it was nowhere close. So this is not a knock on Shrixon, but it is just a statement of if you're buying clubs, like we're not the pros. They don't put the same quality assurance on the clubs going to general public than they do the pros. So it's never a bad idea to get the clubs and take them to the big box, whether it's, I don't know if Dick's does loft and lie check, but like PGA does. If you have a local golf shop, Mike's nodding his head that Dick's or Golf Galaxy would for sure.
Yeah, some Dick's do, depending on where it is, but Dick's does it too.
Yeah, so take them somewhere and validate, unless you're ordering them standard. But take them somewhere, because some of my lofts were not what they're supposed to be off the website, and none of my lies were accurate. I had like 2 out of 7 clubs that were within a half degree. All the other ones were wonky, and it was almost like the Z Forged were not even bent at all. Like they at least tried on the ZX7s, but for some reason the blades were all almost stock. That's where the most egregious one was. I think it was my pitching wedge was 2.5 degrees upright. The damn pitching wedge, man. So anyways, that was kind of the first thing that we did. And then obviously they did the swing weights, and there's some things there. And Jason, I actually sent Mike this report today because I wanted him to have a chance to read through, because I knew he was going to have specific questions on like swing weights and frequencies that I didn't want to blindside him with. I wanted him to be able to process and kind of make this a fruitful conversation. So you can ask some of that. But a gapping session, like Mike said last time, you're supposed to hit 2 to 3 balls with each club. My pitching wedge, my 8 iron, and my 5 iron. And then we went on a complete tangent, right? It was, okay, we need to solve my 52 was 48 and a half. So it's supposed to be 50, and it's supposed to be 51 and a half. So it was a full club strong, which explains, if you remember, Jason, we talked about my Florida trip and I said I flew a few greens.
Yeah.
That explains it right there. I assumed it was because of heat and humidity, but it was 4 degrees stronger than it should have been, or 3.5 degrees stronger. So we got that bent back to where it needed to go. And then they played with my lies. So Ben has played enough with me, the owner, that he knows how I use my wedges. And originally all of my wedges were bent 2.5 degrees flat, but he was like, you don't use your lob wedge at a full swing. So let's keep that upright, because when you get that handle up and you're doing some of these shorter chips, like I don't want you digging your heel, or I don't want your toe digging in because you're lifting the handle up so much. So he played a lot with those, but really what became evident was I have a gap between gap wedge and pitching wedge, and then 4 to 5 kind of landed right on top of each other. They were like 2 mile an hour different. And then we had a huge, very, very long, exhausting conversation on 3rd club in the bag, 2 iron, 7 wood. What is the gap? What do we want? How do we want that to look? So that was a lot of information. I'm going to let y'all ask questions and take a quick break from talking for 2 seconds.
I just want to know when you're going to put that 7 wood in to fill that upper part of your bag.
Okay. So we'll get into that one first then. A lot of conversation. Ultimately, we knew the 2 iron is not the club. It's a 30, Mike probably has it pulled up. It's a 37 degree descent angle, I believe. So nowhere close to where it needs to be. But Ben wants me to keep it in the bag for certain occasions, meaning really windy or certain courses. We are going to retrofit it because it's really light. All of my clubs are swinging in the D, I'm going to say 2 point, I think there's one D3 on there, a D3 range all the way up to like a D 1.2-ish, I think. My 2 iron swings at a C8. So it is a very light club. So we're going to retrofit it. They're going to bend it as much as they can. They can only bend so much with the graphite shaft, which we actually talked about doing a steel shaft as well. But we're going to retrofit the 2-iron. I don't know what it's going to look like. We're going to bend it to be flatter because right now it's upright. And we're going to put a shaft in it that matches my swing. And then it's going to become a specialty club. So I'll only play it in certain situations. Part of that's because as we were talking about the 4 and 5 iron, my 5, I picked up distance. So my 4 iron that used to go like 230, I didn't hit many on the TrackMan report, so I can't look. I want to say I was averaging about 245 carry with my 4 iron, and my 2 iron was going 255. So really my 4 iron kind of becomes that safety driving iron off a tee. If I'm really struggling with my driver and mini, then I just go to a 4 iron. So it pushed us to solve a gap at the 265 to 270 range with the 7 wood or with the 5 wood. We talked about doing a 5 wood. We talked about doing a 5 wood cut down on the shaft to create a 6 wood. We talked about doing a 7 wood with the longer shaft that could turn into a 6 wood. We also just talked about doing a 7 wood with the adjustment to close the loft and get it to where 6 wood would need to be. But ultimately, we were trying to solve for a 265 to 270 carry. And we think we found the build. It looks like it's a Cobra DS Adapt 7 wood built out with a Velocore black shaft, Venice. And this is where ball becomes play. We were originally testing with the Pro V1X, low spin. I was still only getting, I don't have it pulled up. I was getting lower spin with that ball. So we went to the Pro V1, spiked up the spin a little bit. But then when we got to the pitching wedge gap, we realized that my pitching wedge gap is low on spin. I was hitting like 7,000, 8,000 RPMs. With the Pro V1, when we put the Pro V1X in, it spiked up all the way to right at about 86, 8,700. So my spin dictates I need to be in a Pro V1X style ball. So 7 wood is the path we're going at some point. We'll see when that happens. And we're going to retrofit the 2 iron. And then from there, it's just lessons to solve the bottom side of the bag, because a lot of it's just half shots and stuff like that. That's where we're at on the gapping session. It was supposed to be an hour. I was there for a little over an hour and 45 minutes. So almost 2 hours of hitting a lot of balls. And it even turned into a partial lesson. Ben was helping me. I've been hooking a lot. I started fading some balls. It was all ball position and, built in shaft lean. Body lean. So it was really good. We got everything solved. I have not played since I've done this, obviously. And obviously I don't have any of the new clubs, but that's where we're at. That's the gapping session.
I think from my perspective looking at it, like having this, going to the place where you went to have all the information is really cool, right? I think most people can benefit from just having, what are my lofts and lies? And then the next step would be swing weights, right? Like doing frequencies is super cool, but most people don't need that information. The biggest thing that stands out, and you touched on it, was the swing weight of your 2 iron was absolutely absurdly lighter than anything that you should be playing. And then like looking at the rest of your iron set, and again, these aren't built on a tour truck by tour personnel, so they're not going to be perfect. But like, I think it's your 7 iron. The swing weight, it dips. It's the lightest,
1.3.
one of the lightest swing weights. Like it dips, like 6 iron's good, 8 iron's good, 7 iron dips really light. Not really light, but it's light.
Well, that and my pitching wedge were D 1.3 and 1.2. Everything else hovered at a 1.7, 1.6.
Yeah, right. So it's marginal, but it does make a difference. But like I think, and I don't know if I texted this to you or whatever, but like solving the gap, solving like a 265 carry gap. Like next time you go play, I would be shocked if you had 265 carry into a green more than once,
Yeah,
right? And then
if I play the tips, I have it. If I'm thinking about the course I generally go to, twice is the most I would have it.
Right. So when you're looking at a golf club that costs $800 and you're going to hit it twice a week at most, probably, because you're probably not going to hit it off the tee because that's the descent angle on your 7 wood's like 52 degrees. Like you're not going to hit anything that high off a tee in
No, and
Texas.
the mini driver's fine as it is, so it would strictly be like a safety. Like it would have to be a reason, a very specific reason why I'm hitting that off a tee.
Yeah, and I think for like if people are looking at like building out their bag, I think when you buy a club, it's got to have more functionality than I'm going to hit this twice around, right? So it's again, the gapping works to get you gapped out for 14 clubs, but in a case like it, I'm telling you that, like as a fitter, I'm like, hey, this solves the problem. How many times do you come up to this question? And I would tell you, I don't think it's worth it as a friend, but it's one of those things where it's like
No, and
you could.
you're not wrong, and that's why I was saying like I struggle because like I struggle to not want to support these guys, meaning buy it through them because just the level of support they've given me. I mean, I have literally the owner of the place. He has better things to be doing, but he's in there. He's helping me, even give me a pseudo lesson. Like I could go get that 7 wood setup for I priced it out earlier through my buddy that has a discount with Cobra. Like I can go get it for $400. And at $400, it makes it better. I just feel bad doing that because that's $330 that I'm not giving these guys that have put so much effort into me. But it's still $330. I mean, shoot, I can almost go buy the heel shaft Oz putter that I want for that. So like so it's like it sucks. And I need new wedges. Like $330 buys me 2 wedges, right? So like I feel bad. And that's why I said I feel bad because of the amount of effort they put in. If I went to a club champion or anyone else, like I wouldn't feel bad. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I just feel bad because of the amount of effort. And these are the same guys that want to do some collaboration content with us on my next growth within the golf world. Um, so I feel like if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it through them because it's the right thing to do for the partnership moving forward and for everything they've put into me and the support they've given me, which makes me know that this isn't going to happen anytime soon. Like I'm not going to go spend $800 on a 7 wood that I'm going to use 2 times around right now.
Why don't
So
you keep that partnership and have them fit you up for some wedges?
yeah, that's probably the next step. I could easily do that because that was the next big thing that we noticed. My lob wedge should be the heaviest club in my bag, and it's not. It's a D 2.2. So I think regardless, I need to retrofit it with some lead tape to head up to make that a little bit heavier. But then my sand wedge is a D 3.8. So it is very heavy compared to the rest of my clubs. And I hate my sand wedge. So I need new wedges. So Jason, you're 100% correct. Maybe it just makes sense to go get new wedges from them and pay full price for 3 wedges versus because it's $700 on wedges or $700 on a 7 wood. So
And the reason you may hate sand wedge is because it's heavy. Like you may hate it because it's
that
3/8.
is exactly what Nick and Ben said. They're like, "Do you hate your sand wedge?" I was like, "No, I freaking hate that club. I don't hit it well. The shaft, it's not right for me." They're like, "Well, it's also 2 weights heavier than the rest of your club, so that probably tracks." So a lot to think about, and that's why I was on my way home. I was kind of just thinking about all of. I mean, I have essentially a 7 wood that I need to think about investing in, retrofitting my 2 iron, which is probably a $200 investment because whatever shaft they're going to put me in is going to be a custom shaft. And then wedges, that's another $700 investment. And then that heel shaft Oz is on my mind. Like I'm going to get it at some point. It's just a matter of when do I fit it in through all of this.
Well, trade in the other Oz and they'll discount it a little bit, and then you
Yeah,
won't have to
that'll
bring
save
the
me
whole
half the
set
cost.
down. It won't be equal, but at least it helps. And then honestly, from what you're talking about, I mean, prioritize. It sounds like your wedges are probably the priority of a new
I think so.
replacement, and then the retrofit 2 iron could probably be enough for now. In the 7 woods, maybe next year, like later next year, when you get
Well,
too slow down in swing speed or your back goes out or something else happens.
the other problem is I don't need my 2 iron. if my 4-iron's going 245, 250 like it is now, my 2-iron's going 255. I don't think I'm retrofitting a 2-iron and gaining 15 yards of distance. So it's like, do I even need my 2-iron? Do I just take it out of my bag, and do I go buy a really cheap, go to Second Swing and just find something that's usable from a 7-wood perspective? Something, maybe something's $200. I just find a decent shaft and a club that's 5 years old. That's another option I've rolled in my head just to solve the today problem without spending. But again, I go in my head, $200, or for 200 more, I can just buy the new club through my other connection that can get me half off. And it's like, this is where I struggle.
But again, like, you don't need, I think the 7-wood is a total want, right? Because again, you have to think 265 carry, you just don't need it anywhere. Like, you're going to use it 2 or 3 times absolutely max around if you're playing the back tees on a long course and it's not into the wind.
I don't know that I'd say it's a total want. I think you're not wrong in a partial want. I think it's probably, I'm going to say 50-50, because think about it this way. How many times does that happen? Maybe not a lot, right? If I have a longer par 5, I might feel like I need to hit driver, which is going to, driver we've talked about is not my comfort club. The mini driver is. But mini driver might take me going for it out in 2 if I don't have a club that can reach the next one. So putting a 7-wood in my bag gives me comfort to hit the mini driver and still get there, instead of using a driver and potentially poking one OB. Or I'm taking a mini driver and immediately saying it's a 3-shot hole because I have no club that can reach on the next one regardless. So I think you're correct that it is a lot of potential want, because I think it solves some stuff in my bag just from gapping perspective, not necessarily applicable gapping perspective. But I think there is a perspective in there that if I'm trying to, ultimately, I think what the goal is chasing a US AM qualification or even a US Open qualification, which both are absolute pipe dreams for me. I'd have to be a +3, +4 for an AM. I'd have to be close to a +6 to even qualify for an Open. So, but if those are the goals, that perspective of being able to reach that shot, even if it's few, is necessary, because I capture strokes if I can get on the green in 2.
You can still make a birdie from a 3-shot hole, though. Like, that's, like, if you get there in 2 and 3 putt, you're in the same spot.
You're 100% correct. You can. But I think if anything's taught us in the past 5 years of the distance part of the game, distance does help. And if I can pick up some easy strokes by reaching greens in 2, that helps.
Here's my challenge. My challenge to you. Next time you go play, I want to see how many times you have 255 carry to a pin.
I can do that.
250. You know what? Give me 255 front. I'll take that. I want to see how many times you get it.
Well, I'll give you a window, 255, 270. Anytime I have a 255, 270 shot, I'll mark it. That's ultimately what that club would be solving, is that window. So, no, I don't disagree. Like I said, and maybe I said 50-50. Maybe it's 75% want, 25% need. Maybe that 25% gets bigger as I get more competitive. I don't know. But there it is. That's why I'm struggling, because I think it is a large portion want, because I know it can solve something, but maybe I'm solving a problem that's not there today. Maybe it's a 2-year out problem. Maybe it's a never problem because I can't get my back in check and I never swing a golf club again. Maybe that's the reason my back went out too, because I swung 100 times on Friday.
I would probably say more of that than anything, plus running around.
I still think it's
cleaning up. But I do
the
like
pants.
I think the
It's the
struggle.
pants.
I think it's the struggle, or putting on your tube socks.
Or, I think it was really just the absurd amount of Oz heel shafted putts I have rolled at stores the past 48 hours. I'm going to go with that.
Maybe your boots are on level, off level, or something like that, and it's causing your posture to tweak.
Sounds like I need some new boots.
Yeah. Who can you?
Let's throw that into this wrinkle. Well, that is the mental head case of my gapping session. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it, and I got to solve for it. So no new clubs anytime soon.
Except wedges. I think we can agree wedges should be an upgrade.
Fair point. Wedges can.
Yeah, if you get new wedges, you don't have to reach in 2. You just hit it in 3 and just hit it close and make the putt, and now you still made a 4.
Not wrong. Not wrong there. All right.
But
So
against
y'all.
the heel Oz, he can one putt more often.
So exactly. So y'all talked me into it. Wedges and heel shaft putter.
You needed so much convincing.
Well, yeah, I had to show a little bit of a fight. My wife does listen to this.
He's got the other credit card.
God, no. No. My wife knows every purchase I make because I am that kind of husband.
It's funny, on that note, one of my really good friends, I sent him a putter, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to put my wife's name on it because if something else shows up with my name on it, she's gonna lose it." So I put her name on it so he can yell at her when it shows up.
It's funny. That is awesome.
Oh my goodness.
We all have our vices. All right. So next week, Mike will not be with us. He is traveling on his golf trip. I'm jealous. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jason and I are, like I said, we're going to talk single life prior to getting remarried, and not single life in the sense of dating, but single life in the sense of raising a kid and being I'm gonna call it part-time dad, and the logistics that go with that.
I mean, I would be kind of curious to hear about your dating.
Oh, it was non-existent.
I think maybe it's like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
No. Yeah.
Fill a gap, 2-minute gap.
I'll
Bumble,
yeah,
Tumblr.
yeah. We're not gonna bury that lead. Online dating, it sucks, and I am very lucky I found my wife because she's amazing and a saint. So we'll leave it at that. Y'all got anything else for this week?
No.
Well,
Nope. I'll have a recap of 3 rounds when I get back.
Whew.
yeah, it's gonna be great. That'll be
the Mike show on that one.
Yeah, a few weeks. Not next episode, but one after that. It'll be the Mike show on his trip. So get ready. Other than that, guys, as always, we are found on YouTube and Spotify. Give us a like, subscribe so you're notified. And until next week.
See you.